Hello everyone, welcome. We're live here in the Digital DJ Tips studio with me, Phil Morse, and we are here to talk DJing for the next hour. As the world's leading online DJ school, it's our pleasure to go live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch every week at this time, or at least most weeks, and help you out with whatever you're stuck with in your DJ. Now at the moment here in the studio, we've got the Reloop Remix 95 mixer set up. We've got it set up with the LC6000 Denon DJ decks, and we've been using it with Algorithm's DJ Pro AI software as part of some training that we are working on for our students. So if you've got any questions about this particular set of gear, then do feel free to ask away. But it's not only about what we've got in front of us. As you probably know, if you're a regular, we've got pretty much everything in this studio that you could possibly imagine. For instance, over on desk 2 today, we've got the Pioneer DJ Opus Quad. I've got the little K2 from Alan and Heath set up over here as well that we've been demoing with Beatport's online in-browser DJ software. So we've been playing with that too recently. There's actually an awful lot going on in the DJ world at the moment, as I'm sure you know. We've got the launch of that quad unit. We've also got the launch of the new Pioneer DJ mixer. What else is going on in the DJ world? Let's have a little look over on the Digital DJ Tips website and remind ourselves of what's going on at the moment. digitaldjtips.com is where you'll find out about all the DJ courses that we have. And if you click on the blog at the top, it is the world's best news service for DJs. If it's happening, you'll find it here. So recently on Digital DJ Tips, we've been looking at club mixers, and there's a video you can watch there about what to look out for on club style DJ mixers. Also, we were talking about the Rane 4 that has finally hit stores after all this time. Stems compatible unit, very special looking piece of kit as well, with pretty much the most comprehensive controller with Serato that you could imagine. So that's something else we've been covering on Digital DJ Tips. There's new stuff for Tractor. Yeah, there's a lot of chat going on about the quad unit, the one I've got here on the desk, and whether it will ever be joined by a new XDJ XZ or XZ2. So these are all the things we've been talking about on Digital DJ Tips, and maybe there's something in there that you want to talk about. But as I say, we're just here to help. That's what this next 45 minutes or so is all about. As the chief tutor here at Digital DJ Tips, it's my job just to help you out. And like I say, we're on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. Facebook's the best place. I know that we have varying views on Facebook, but the reason it's the best place is that your questions remain underneath when we finish this live video. And so my team and I can help you out there with all those questions, even after we've gone off air, because we never get to answer everything. But that said, I'll try my hardest wherever you are. Right, let's do it then. Let's get chatting. Hello to Mixmaster G and Voss and David. Hello to Kevin and Cameron and Ashif and DJ John Roback, Jonathan and Stin. Hello to Sarah in the sunny UK. You don't like my music? Stupid daylight savings. Yeah, I know. I don't know what, I can't remember what that means. I don't know whether the time is later or earlier than it should be for all of those of you stateside. Those of you who are not stateside, it's still, well, for everyone in the world really, it's still 3 p.m. London time, which is when we always go live with this thing. Jonathan says, thank you, I've learned so much from you guys. Oh, you're welcome, Jonathan. Right, questions then. So this is from Cabes, who says, how do you restore your metadata in Rekordbox? I recently deleted some tracks in my collection. I tried to restore them from Dropbox, but the cues were not there. So if you don't do it the right way, then they won't be. So the problem you probably had here is that you had different named files that you restored. And what you should do is when you get the tracks back to where you want them to be, then relocate lost files. Use the relocate lost files function in your DJ software, and that will realign the file with the data. Now you don't actually, well, it is a kind of metadata what your DJ software stores. So here's one thing that people often don't understand. There is a music file, right? Just a file, an MP3 or whatever, and that's got some data in it. So it might have the artist and the title and the artwork, and it might have other bits of data as well, depending on the DJ software you use. But always, without fail, every single file that you tell your DJ software about has another set of data that the DJ software keeps separately. And it needs to know how to link those two things up. And the way it knows that is by knowing not only the name of the file, but where you've kept it. which is why we always advise never move your music once you've introduced it to your DJ software, because otherwise you'll lose the waveform and possibly the key information, certainly your cues, loops, playlists, and that kind of thing. So that's why this goes wrong. The key thing to remember is never move your music after you've introduced it to your DJ software. But try that. Try using the relocate lost files and see if that ties those two things up for you, Cabes. Right, so Wouter says, I recently bought the Opus Quad, but I was tremendously disappointed by the lack of a slip mode. I was under the impression it only lacked a physical button, but the entire feature is missing. A big overlook by Pioneer DJ. This is the Opus Quad. We've been playing with it a lot here in the Digital DJ Tips studio recently. It's a lovely piece of DJ gear. It's got a wonderful main screen. It's got really useful secondary screens. It's really nicely built. Feels like you're driving a cockpit. And I totally agree with you. The lack of slip is ridiculous. Now it has this button here called slip reverse. So what this does is censor your music. So if you're playing a track and you press that, it will play the track momentarily backwards. And when you take your hand off it, the track will go to where it would have been had you not pressed that button. And that means that you can effectively cut out or censor curse words and so on in tracks. Now it's got slip reverse or slip rev written on it. So what I've suggested directly and personally to Pioneer DJ is that they add a feature in the software that allows you to program that button so that when you hold down Shift and press it, it becomes a normal slip mode. And slip mode is basically, it will let you scratch or play with cue points or whatever, and as soon as you take your hands off the decks when you're finished, it will continue where it would have been afterwards. So it's related to that function. And then I said to Pioneer DJ, why don't you have an option in the settings so you can decide which function you need to hold the Shift button down in order to trigger. So in other words, there's a Shift button here. If you hold down Shift and press this button, let the user decide whether what they get is the slip reverse or just a normal slip mode. So in other words, you can then program that button so that that becomes the slip mode button. I think that's a really good solution. They haven't replied to me yet. They're very busy over there, but hopefully they will. I think you should hold on Wouter and see what happens, because I've got a feeling that they're going to add that function. It's ridiculous that they haven't. The buttons are all there. They just haven't programmed it in. And it is, I agree, a big overlook. Hello to Olipot, who's in Uganda, who says, I've just joined you. Hope I'm not too late. You're actually fine. But listen, if you ever do miss the beginning of one of these shows and you want to watch it, just watch the replay. It always goes live on YouTube and Facebook as a recorded video that you can watch anytime you want, as soon as we finish with the actual live recording. Philip on YouTube, speaking of YouTube, says, why have the prices of DJ controllers and DJ consoles gone so bonkers recently? I think it's just supply and demand. There is a big shortage of DJ gear at the moment, and I just think that that's the reason the prices have gone up. Prices are going up everywhere, right? It's just one of those things. But yeah, honestly, I think that's what it is. It's supply and demand plus the general cost of living rising as well. Wouter says the sound and the feel are so good. It's a really hard decision whether to send it back. Hold on, we're on your side. We're in your corner, Wouter, and I am pestering hard to Pioneer DJ for them to make that change. I mean, they should. And we have press briefings. Of course, we have press briefings where they tell us about the new gear ahead of time. And in that press briefing, it was any questions at the end, and I'm like, yeah, where is slip mode? And I'm on it for you. So hopefully that will get added. Right, so here it's just it's like an essay of love for digital DJing. I'm going to read this all the way out. It's from DJ Wiki, and it's true. I'm not making this up. DJ Wiki's over on Facebook. And this is what DJ Wiki says. Hello, Phil. I've been a Traktor user from day one. I own the Control X1s. By the way, they're Traktor controllers that look a little bit like this, little boxes you can plug into Traktor and do cool stuff. Anyway, I own X1s, F1s, and all three Traktor Control S4 controllers, models 1, 2, and 3. So there you go. I love the remix decks, which is a cool way of chopping up music in Traktor. And I've been making my own stems tracks for years. Traktor were the first with stems, although for lots of reasons we won't go into it now, it never took off when they did it. I own the first edition of Pioneer DJ's SX with Serato, but I've never played out with it. But everything's about to change because drum roll, I've just received the new Rane 4. Fantastic. I'm not leaving Traktor totally, I'm just waiting for them to add modern stems and also elastic beat grids. Yes, aren't we all? I purchased your Serato Pro 3 Made Easy course to get up to speed, and I will be 60 on March the 18th, but I played my first gig 45 years ago at the age of 15. The things we can do today in our sets with technology, I could only dream of 45 years ago. DJ Wiki, you get our applause here at Digital DJ Tips for your enthusiasm, for your love of the tech, but also clearly for your love of the music and the art, and good luck continuing with your journey with the new Rane 4. I suspect you're going to absolutely love it. It is an incredible piece of kit. Okay, Ashif says, this is sweet, it's my first time here. Do you have a Facebook I can join? Well, funny you should ask that. If you're watching this on the Digital DJ Tips Facebook page, we have a Facebook group. It's called Global DJ Network, and it is the best place to hang out on Facebook to talk DJing with us and with our crew and with our subscribers and our students. So just go into that Facebook search bar, type in Global DJ Network and click join group. We allow everyone into that group manually to make sure that we only let the nice people in. So do that and we will admit you as our latest person. And that goes for everyone, of course, watching this. If you're not in the Global DJ Network group, you might be watching this in there now, in which case, great. But if you're not in there, that is the place to hang about. Well, apparently, thank you, Benny, who's helping me out here. It's actually an hour later than it would normally be in the United States, in Florida. It would normally be 10 a.m. when we go live, and it's now 11. So that means that you are 4 hours behind us. So at least until the clocks change again, I can say we're live at 11 a.m. New York, 3 p.m. London, I think. Yeah, I think. I'll stick with that. So Mixmaster G says, Rekordbox links the cues and loops to the absolute file path of the audio files. If you don't have a backup, you have a problem. There is a restore option, but that is most likely not going to fix it. So I'd say try and get the files back to exactly where they were before you moved them and see if that works for you. This is from You Don't Like My Music. Any news on a Mixon 8 review? Or is there already one up? I haven't checked yet. Shall we do our once a month go and look at the Mixon 8? If you head over to the Digital DJ Tips website and go to the top of the website, you find this little magnifying glass. It's also on the mobile site. And when you click on there, you can type in anything you want. We've got thousands and thousands, like maybe 8,000 articles over the years. Or it might be 6,000 now because we have pruned them recently. I'm typing in Mixon 8 because this is a DJ controller that everyone is interested in, and look, there is the first result. So if you ever want to search anything on Digital DJ Tips, that's how you do it. So this is the Mixon 8. Shall we zoom in and have a closer look at it? It is a DJ controller from Reloop, the people behind this unit I've got on the desk here today, this RMX Remix 95 mixer, which, by the way, we've got a review, written review and a video review coming live next week for you. This is a really nice looking controller in lots of ways. It is professional, like it's built in metal and all that stuff. It's got a high quality audio interface. It's got 4 channels. It works with Serato and with Algorithm's DJ Pro AI. Also works with laptops, iPads and phones. It's got a built-in stand that you can probably see just at the back of the unit there where my mouse pointer is, which is for putting in an iPad Pro or whatever, and standing it up. And it is also, unusually, what we call mirror image or symmetrical. Imagine if you put a mirror right down the middle there. Each side, the left and the right, would look the same in the mirror. In other words, you've got your pitch fader top left on this side, but top right on this side. And you've got your play, pause and cue buttons bottom right on this side, but bottom left on this side, which is very unusual. Normally on DJ gear nowadays, I mean, for instance, the Opus is a good example. You don't have that. Look, the pitch, these are identical, right? These decks are both identical. You could chop it out and it would look the same as the other one. But you don't often get mirror imaged units like this anymore. Anyway, this is coming. But they keep telling us it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It was announced at the last NAMM show. The next NAMM show is about to start, so that's how long we've been waiting for it. It does look like a nice unit. I think the thing they're going to be faced with, and there it is with the iPad Pro plugged in and pushed into the stand on the right hand side. The problem I think they're going to have with this unit is that it's kind of being overtaken by the Rane 4. So unless they found a way of getting the stems to work on this in a way which is pretty cool, it's almost like in the year since they announced this, nearly year since they announced this, it's kind of the horse is bolted kind of thing. But it does look very nice. You can see it's got lots of pro inputs and outputs and so on. So we'll let you know as soon as we know more about this unit. Reloop keep telling us it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, but at the moment there is no date on that, and we don't have one to tell you any more about. So let's grab another live question. Justin Rogers on Facebook. Do you think that stems in all DJ software, soon to be, no doubt, yeah, I agree with you, soon to be, no doubt, is going to lead to more laptops in the clubs, since it is a significant performance step beyond regular media players until the media players can do it? I don't. The reason I don't think stems is going to lead to more laptops in the club is very simple. DJs who play in clubs want everything to be just so. They want things to be as they have always been, and they don't want any dramas, and they don't want any messing. And it's a big ask for DJs to switch to laptops for any reason. For instance, I was filming with James Hype. Some of you will know James as one of our tutors. Others will know James as the guy behind Ferrari, probably the biggest club hit of the last 18 months. Anyway, I was filming with James on Monday, and I was asking him about this. I'll try and pick it up for you, even though it weighs an absolute ton. Oh, Jesus. It is heavy, I'll tell you. I was asking him about this, the new Pioneer DJ-A9 mixer. This is the replacement for the Pioneer DJ DJM-900 Nexus 2 mixer. This is the one you're going to see in clubs if you're a club DJ from now onwards, as the Nexus 2s start to wear out and get replaced. And I was saying to James, what do you think of it? And he's like, I like it, I do like it, but I'm just worried that when I start playing in it, I'll start spotting all those things that aren't like the Nexus 2. Honestly, that thing's almost identical to the Nexus 2. James, you might know as well, has had real problems switching from the CDJ 2000s, which is Pioneer DJ's previous flagship CDJ, to using the CDJ 3000s, because they're just not behaving exactly the same way as he is used to. And as a DJ who really pushes his gear, he doesn't like the change. He just wants it to stay as it's always been, so he can come up with new tricks, he can come up with new routines, he can push his art forward without the gear changing. So if someone like James wants to use acapellas and stems and that kind of thing, James will just prepare them beforehand. He'll just output acapellas and drum tracks and bassline tracks and so on. And he'll practice loading them onto the decks and doing what he wants with them that way. There's no way he would ever think, oh, just because there's this new stems thing, I'm going to start taking a laptop into the DJ booth. There's just no way. Most club DJs are far more conservative with a small c than the likes of you and I, where we can just mess with anything, almost with impunity, because it doesn't really matter if we take a bit of time to get used to it and so on. Whereas a DJ at the top of their game is playing gig, 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 gig. They haven't got time to take time out and learn this stuff. So I don't think we'll see more laptops in DJ booths. What I think is, in the end, we'll see DJ booth equipment catching up with laptops. That's what will happen in the end, is my view. And we've seen that already. For instance, the Engine DJ software, which powers the Denon DJ version of not only the standalone players, so their version of the the CDJ 2000 and 3000, their version is the SC 5000 and 6000. So the software that powers those, also the software that powers the Denon DJ Prime 4, the SC Live 4, the Numark Mixstream, it's called Engine. That software is standalone, no laptop, but it's got a sampler, which was the other big thing missing from laptop software. There's now a sampler in that software. So I don't think it will be forever until we start seeing this stuff appearing in real-time standalone gear. And that's when DJs will start using it in the DJ booths who are used to standalone gear. Thank you for the question. It's really cool. So Daniel, here's a new one. I have no idea what this is. There's an automated voice saying trial in my recordings. Do you know why that could be? I'm on Serato DJ Pro. Anyone help here? I've got absolutely no idea. If you're just clicking the record button in Serato DJ Pro, you should never get a automated voice saying trial. In fact, I've never heard of that before. All I can think of, Daniel, is that you're not using the record button in Serato DJ Pro, and instead you're using some kind of third-party software to record your DJ sets. And that software you don't own. And it could be that software that's adding the word trial. That's all I can think. So what I would say is let us know, because I'm really intrigued about that one. Let's grab another one this is from Carl Kennedy on Facebook. Carl says, I've got an issue loading tracks into Rekordbox performance mode on my RX3, which is a standalone Rekordbox unit. It won't let me cue to the very start of the track on certain tunes, and it goes to the first half beat. Is there a cure at all? Any advice would be gratefully appreciated. Have you got quantize turned on? That could be it. That's all I can think of, Carl. If anyone else has got any clues, let us know, but I'd say just check you haven't got quantize turned on there, Carl. Why did they stop doing CDs, says Wesley? Is it because digital music is clearer, or the mechanism in the CD player, when you select the next track, the laser cannot play it, etc., etc.? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there, but CDs basically aren't needed anymore, because on one USB drive, on one of these, you can fit hundreds of CDs worth of material, and you just plug it into one of your two CDJs and access it all. So there's no need to have a physical CD anymore. I think, you know, that's pretty obvious. So maybe it's something else you're asking that I'm not quite getting. So let us know if there's something I'm missing. But yeah, I'd say that CDs are just now going the way of cassettes and records. You know, they're cool, but they're not needed anymore. You don't like my music, says that opus is much bigger than I thought. It really is big, right? Let me put my little Rock the Dance Floor book next to it. You can see how big that unit is, right? It really does have a footprint. It really is substantial. And it goes up at the back as well. So it kind of feels wedge-like in a nice way on the desk. I like it. This is from Dominic. I would like to know more on the Dropbox Rekordbox workflow on the back end. What if I want my collection to live on Dropbox and take that Rekordbox local storage folder and integrate it into iTunes? Bad idea? Yes, ignore iTunes. Don't go there, Dominic. That said, I will be producing, as of 2 weeks' time, we're starting a brand new course, Rekordbox 6 Made Easy. It's going to cover everything about Rekordbox, from first importing into the library, to organizing your music, to using Rekordbox cloud features, and to using Rekordbox with not only the Pro CDJs, but also every DJ controller, from the very, very lowly Flex 4 and the Flex 6, DDJ 1000 and so on, all the way up to things like the new Opus Quad. And the imminent, we are told, Rekordbox mobile app, because Rekordbox has got a new way of working with music that, if you subscribe to their Creative or their Pro plan, allows you to basically have your master library in the cloud, and then you can work on that library from anywhere: your work computer, your home computer, your phone, your iPad. And when you get to the club and turn on the club's DJ gear, all you got to do is log in, and as long as they've got good Wi-Fi or good Ethernet, good internet, your whole music collection is there, streaming from the cloud. Now people say, yeah, but what about internet? What about this? What about that? Guys, girls, it's coming. Having internet that is completely reliable, and I'm obviously throwing a spanner in the works by saying this because we're live at the moment and I'm relying on my internet. Look, we've been going live for half a decade on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've had, I can count on one hand the number of times we've been thrown off the air. And normally that's my fault. It's not the fault of the internet company. Internet is reliable when it's wired. And DJ booths increasingly are getting fast wired internet, and DJs are demanding it as a prerequisite for playing. And so having the ability to get into the cloud like that is going to become normal for all DJs in all DJ booths. And so the idea of logging into your collection from Pioneer DJ gear is a big one, and they are pinning their future on it, part of their future on it. So we're producing a Rekordbox 6 Made Easy course. It follows on from our Serato DJ Pro 3 Made Easy course that we've literally just, I think they're just finishing now with the promo on that. I think actually they're not. Wow, if you want the Serato course, this was meant to stop at 4 o'clock our time. In fact, no, 4 o'clock our time is, no, half an hour ago, this was meant to stop. But as of now, new Serato course, click here to save 50%. As of now, this is still, by the look of it, yeah, look, 3 hours left. They've obviously had lots of people still trying to buy it and added 3 hours onto this timer. This is good news if you want it. We've got this course with Serato. We never do 50% off on our courses except when we launch them. And even then we often don't do this, but this time we have. So you can get this course at a 50% saving, which is a massive saving. So go and take a look at this if you're a Serato user. It's a 40 video course that takes you step by step through every feature and function of Serato. It's been very popular. It's totally remade. I personally remade it. So go take a look. It's live on the website for the next 3 hours and then it goes back to double the price. You don't want to buy it at double the price. I'm making the same course but for Rekordbox, and actually Rekordbox is even more involved than Serato because it's got all that cloud stuff, because it works with fully modular club gear plus all-in-one gear like this, plus lowly gear like DJ controllers, big and small. So Rekordbox really does need a little bit more explanation, a little bit more help. And Pioneer DJ themselves are really quite excited that we're doing this and are helping me to grab the pain points of DJs and make sure they're all covered. So keep an eye out for that, Carl. But meanwhile, all I can say, was it Carl? Oh, it's Dominic, sorry, Dominic. But all I can say now is don't try and mix up Rekordbox's cloud workflow with iTunes. You will get very confused. And even if you don't, I'm pretty sure your computer will. It's an either or there. So this next question is from Jermaine, who says, "Hi Phil, after my first bar gig," well done Jermaine, "after my first bar gig, I was asked to DJ a corporate event. The organisation asked me to submit a quote. What should I put on my quote?" This is a great question. Corporate events are brilliant. And the reason I think corporate events are brilliant is twofold. Hey, look at that, twofold. Hey. One, corporate events allow you to be a little bit more quirky. You can make a pitch for a type of music or a style or a look, because they're not always just a cheesy, no offense to mobile DJs, but you know exactly what I mean. They're not always just a cheesy party in a standard venue. There could be, quite often a mobile event will be that the company hiring you wants to set a certain mood or a certain tone, and so you can play up to that. They might want, you know, evening drinks jazz, or they might want, you know, deep sunset house, and whatever it is, you can make a pitch not only for the price, but for what you want to do. So find out from the person who's booking you what kind of event it is, and find out the kind of dress code, and find out, it could be a launch of a product, it could be a launch of a wellness campaign, it could be something that invokes the idea of doing something a bit different than just turning up and doing your normal thing, which would be great. And of course it could be your normal thing, which is also great, but it's worth checking. That's the first thing. You could be a bit quirkier. But the second thing, when you're playing a corporate gig, and this is the big one, is that it's not like hiring yourself out to a family having a 16th birthday party or a wedding or something like that, and they've got a budget and they're just trying to keep the costs really low because they've got to try and fit everything in. It's not like that, because more often than not, here's how it works with corporate events. By the way, I know this, I've played loads of them. One of the departments at the company, normally the human resource, the HR department, or it could be the PA to one of the senior executives, one of the C-level executives, is asked to organise the event. Normally it's HR in my experience. Now HR will be given a hospitality budget for the company for the whole year. Now, this is how it works in corporate companies. You'll be nodding your head vigorously if you work in a corporate environment. Every department has a budget, and that budget is reassessed every year. Now, if your budget for hospitality is, let's say, $10,000, and you've got to put on a couple of parties or whatever for the team, for the staff that year, if you don't spend that money, if you only spend 5,000 of that money, then next year they're going to cut that budget. They'll say, well, look, where are we going to make cuts? Well, companies are always making cuts. Where are we going to make cuts? Well, who didn't spend what we gave them last year? HR didn't spend the hospitality budget. Let's cut that. Now, no manager worth their salt wants their budgets cut. So there's a different dynamic going on in HR departments and when you're being booked for corporate events, at least sometimes. And the dynamic is this: they need to spend that money. And guess what? You'd quite like to have that money, right? So put in a quote that's nice and high, and they can knock you down if they haven't got the money. Put in a really nice proposal for what you want to do, make it fit what they told you, and then put in a high quote. And they might just accept it because they need to spend the money. They might just say to you, hey, can you also help us with this and this and this? So quite often it'll be like, well, we also want to do some decor in the room. And do you know any magicians? And we need a band as well. Do you know that? Listen, at that point you say, listen, I can sort it all for you. Tell me exactly what you want. And they tell you, you write it all down. You go off and you find the people who can do room decor. You find the people who can hire a band to you. You find the people who've got, you know, table magicians who can go around and do tricks and throw their cards on the ceiling and steal people's watches and stuff. And you add on a nice fat markup to that price and you give them a piece of paper that says, there you go, there's your whole party organised. Now you've got to do a bit more work. You've got to make sure these people turn up, you know, but if you're prepared to do that, you can make an awful lot of money by being an entertainment company rather than just a DJ for corporate events. And guess what? The money's not an object. They will thank you for taking that trouble off their hands. And when you do it right, word will get around that world that you're good at this stuff. Corporate events can be a real money spinner. Deliver value and you can set your own price, and often, not always, but often you'll get it. I'm excited for you. Come back and let us know how that corporate event goes on. So this is from Stin, who says, I can't believe that in 2023, Beatport still charges more for AIFF, in other words, lossless music than MP3s. 20 years ago it made sense because of bandwidth issues, but not now. Well, there still are bandwidth issues, but yeah, I know what you mean. That is a little bit lame. I have to agree with you there. So hello to UK JLo on Twitch, who says, last year I was lucky enough to grab a pair of CDJ 3000s and a DJM-900 Nexus 2. Do you really think the DJM-A9 is worth the upgrade? No, stick with the 900 Nexus 2. Everyone else will for a good half decade from now. This is from Ben, who says, hi everyone. A lot of Rekordbox questions today. Hi everyone. I've got the keys showing, musical key, in my playlists on Rekordbox, but when playing a track, do I enable the function where the next relatable tracks to mix in key highlight themselves? Well, it's up to you. It's not going to do any difference to the way it sounds. It's not going to change anything other than make it easier for you to choose a track that will mix in easily. So yes, it doesn't make any difference. If you find it useful, then get on with it. Hello, Sono Distorto on Twitch. Hello to Long Hair Miss Wybrow. I have a question. I DJ in Sam's Pro. Yeah, this is another pretty niche DJ product. Can I use the Numark in this program? I've got no idea, I'm afraid. You'll have to just check in their settings. It's a piece of software I haven't used for many years. So Mixmaster G is just kind of following up what I was saying about club DJs. Mixmaster G is saying that club DJs want things to be predictable, quality-wise, and fully prepared, cues, loops, and so on. And so if they want to use stems, it's seldom going to be real time. It will always be pre-separated, and it will always be digital audio workstation improved. Good point. It will always be improved as well. So this is from Tommy Kelly. Hi Phil, does the Numark NS4FX work well with software other than Serato? Since updating my new Mac M2 to Ventura, I get frequent audio dropouts. There doesn't seem to be a solution. Look, two things. One, I'm not sure whether Serato is Ventura compatible yet. It might be, it might not, I can't remember. But if there is an issue with Ventura, they will fix it. So don't think this is unfixable. It's totally fixable. Maybe you jumped the gun. So don't think that that's the end of Serato for you. But it also works with Virtual DJ, so you could try it with Virtual DJ as well, Tommy. This is from Steve. Any news on new tractor hardware? No, it's one of those questions that gets asked again and again, but there is no news on new tractor hardware. So this is from Sono Distorto on Twitch. So what about DJs who play with Traktor or Ableton, who take the music with them and use like a Zone 96 and 2 iPads and Roland drum machines. What about Horton and all his stuff? Yeah, with his Model 1 mixer and all that. They're an exception, yeah, and they remain so. Yes, they are an exception. You know, Pioneer DJ will tell you that there are two types of DJ, two big types of DJ. There is the professional level, right? There are club DJs and there are mobile DJs. And they're broadly right, they're broadly correct there. Bang, there you go, there's your two types of DJs. That accounts for probably 95% of DJs. But there are always going to be the innovators. There are always going to be the people pushing the boundaries, the Richie Hortons of this world and so on, who are incorporating live music and hybrid setups and drum machines and sequencers and, you know, other performers in their DJ sets, and who are mixing live with pre-recorded. And these people, for them, you know, they're neither, yes, they're pros, but they're not really either of those kinds of DJs. They have setups which can be modular, lots of equipment like this, where they have their own boxes and stuff that they plug together. They might have drum machines, they might have little groove boxes as part of what they do. And yes, very, very much so, these DJs are an exception to the rule. And they're fantastic, and long may they live on and do their thing. But the vast, vast majority of DJs are going to be one of those two. Club DJs who just want everything to be just so, or mobile DJs who have a slightly different set of requirements and are far more likely to use laptops, but even so, still want everything to be just so, because no one wants it to go wrong when they're being paid for a performance, right? So it's hobby DJs who tend to be the innovators. It's the likes of you and me messing around at home, playing with new gear, like we've got the this setup here from the Reloop people, the Remix 95 that I've been playing with Algorithm's DJ Pro AI software over here on the laptop. You know, this kind of stuff, it's great. I've had stems going today on these controls. I've had the vocals and the bass and the drums and the melodies all cut on these buttons here and stuff. It's great, it's fantastic, it's good fun, but it's not the kind of thing that pros or mobile DJs would like to do in a live environment or mess with. They just want their gear to do what their gear does. So yeah, back to that point we were making earlier about that. Right, I've got room for just a couple more questions, I'm afraid. If you haven't had your question answered, we will answer you as soon as we can underneath if you've asked it on Facebook, because your questions will remain there, and so we get a chance to do that. If you've asked it on Twitch, everything will disappear. If you've asked on YouTube, again, it'll disappear because it's in the chat down the right hand side. You could ask again underneath the YouTube video if you want, but ask early is the tip here. However, do join Digital DJ Tips too, because if you're a member of Digital DJ Tips, you get a copy of the book, Rock the Dance Floor, #1 selling book on how to DJ online. But more than that, you will get access to our Facebook groups where you can get help all day and all night long, not only from us, but from our great students. And if you buy one of our courses, then you get access to our VIP Facebook group. It's called Student Live, Student Hub, and inside Student Hub, you get Student Live every time we go live. You can ask questions and every single question in there gets answered. And it's not just me in there, but it's Steve as well, the co-owner of Digital DJ Tips. So there's nowhere else in anything that we do that you'll get our attention like that regularly. So buy any Digital DJ Tips course and get something like what we're doing here, but guaranteed help. You will be guaranteed to have your question answered whenever you join us there. Great, right, so with that said, let's just go and grab our final couple of questions for today. So this one is from the Ruckus. Yes, we are an hour later for you, stateside, just for the next couple of weeks until the clocks change here in Europe, just to clear that one up. FB London says, when will the new Rekordbox for iOS be coming out? And do you think it will have a new option to convert files to stems? I don't have anything to say about stems in Rekordbox at the moment, but if it does arrive in Rekordbox, I'm sure it will also arrive in their software. Although, as far as I can tell from the way stems is implemented by most people, not by everyone, is that it will probably just be something that you engage when you're performing rather than do ahead of time. But we'll have to wait and see about that. Have you all heard about the free and open source program called Mix? Says Devilish Lear or Devilish Liar. We have heard about Mix. We are fans of Mix. We don't talk about Mix too much, basically because not many people use it and we have to put our resources where we can help the most people. But Mix is a great piece of software. This is what it looks like. It is a piece of software that works on Windows, Mac and Linux. It's open source, which means you don't pay for it. And it is cool. If you want DJ software that you don't pay for, but that is fully featured, and it's getting really good, then go and take a look at Mix. mixx.org is the place to go to have a look at Mix. And here is a closer look at the software. Let's load a screenshot. There you go. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Take a look. It's free. Even if you don't use it as your main DJ software, it might be a nice piece of software to use as a secondary piece of software. So thank you for reminding us about Mix there, Devilish Liar. Right, so let's get one more question live then. This is from Nexujin, who says, I just saw a DJ set where the DJM-A9 was used. What happened to this line of mixer? Could you guys make a video about the history of DJMs one day? It might be a relevant topic now with the A9 coming up. What a great idea, making a Pioneer DJ mixer history video. Maybe we will do that one day. And let's get one more question. This is from EL Conductor, who says, why didn't Rane make the Rane 4 with motorized platters? Will there be a new motorized platter version coming soon from Rane or anyone else? I just think, you know, most DJ gear doesn't have motorized platters, right? This hasn't got motorized platters, these LC6000s. These aren't motorized platters. When you're DJing with digital files, you don't need motorized platters, and they're a bit of a niche thing. So I think what Rane wanted to do was say, look, we're not just about scratch DJs, we're about performance DJs as well. We're going to make a controller with full-size jog wheels and all the features on it, but it isn't motorized. And I think that's why they did it. Will they make a motorized version? I actually don't think they will, is my guess. That said, they kind of made motorized versions of everything else, haven't they, over the years? In Music, the company that owns Denon also owns Rane. So maybe they will, who knows? But I'm not sure. I wouldn't hold out your money for that. If you want the Rane 4, buy it as it is, would be my advice. Right, guys, girls, we're done. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. I will be back next Tuesday for another live lesson. Not sure what we'll be looking at then. We always decide as we get closer to the day. Do remember that if you head over to the digitaldjtips.com website right now and for the next hour or two and click at the top, you can get our brand new Serato DJ Pro 3 Made Easy course at half price. You have, according to our counter, 3 hours, 13 minutes and 6 seconds left to do that. And it doesn't matter what time zone you are in, that stands true. So if you're interested in our Serato course and you want to save 50%, do it now, because that offer is going to go away and will never, and I mean never, come back. We never sell at that low a price. Right, we're done. Get good, get out there, make the moments. I will see you in another one of our live shows, one of our YouTube videos, one of our reviews, or in one of our groups, or indeed in one of our courses very soon. Until then, bye-bye.